Everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of Salad series. I hope I'm audible. Can someone please let me know? Yeah, there is no electricity today, and something has conked off. Luckily, I have the UPS for the internet, and I've kept my window open so that I'm not sweating puddles. And the weather is good because I'm in Bangalore, so it's bearable. Thank you, everybody. So let's get started. Today is a much demanded episode. It's all about salad dressings. Now, every salad needs a good dressing to make it edible, palatable, and fun. So we'll take it step by step, and you'll literally be able to make your own dressing of any cuisine, any variety after you listen to what we are discussing today. And before I move on, I just want to thank Sprig Gourmet for announcing 2 hampers for the attendees of this live session. So listen to me carefully throughout. Like episode 4, I'm going to ask you a question which you'll be able to answer if you listen to me carefully. And the first 2 right answers will win the hamper, and Sprig will be sending them to you directly. So thank you, Sprig. Okay, so first question, why do we need a dressing at all? Can't we just eat a salad as it is? So, a dressing is a combination of a sauce as well as seasoning. So, it gives you flavor to the salad, it makes it more edible, it makes it more delicious, it makes it juicy. So, that's one reason. The second reason is that a lot of fresh ingredients that we use in salads, like leafy green vegetables and some of the other raw vegetables and fruits, those of which have soluble vitamins, they need some fat medium so that these vitamins can be absorbed by the body. Now, because salad is mostly raw vegetables, the oil in the dressing helps us absorb these fat soluble vitamins. And secondly, if you use things like coconut, avocado, or these kind of things which are naturally rich in fat, then obviously you don't need further fat in the dressing for absorption. But if you're just eating leafy greens, vegetables, and fruits in your salad, then it will be it's useful to have oil in your dressing. So coming to the second thing, what are the types of salad dressings? Now this will be a little bit technical, but please pay attention. It's very useful. One is simple, which is just using one ingredient. So you can just dress your salad in extra virgin olive oil, or you can just add lemon juice like our Indian style kachumbar, where we only add sometimes lime juice or lemon juice and some salt. That's about it, right? There is no other dressing added. Or you can just add vinegar, just lime juice, or just olive oil, or just any other oil, and that's called a simple salad dressing. That is also a dressing, but that is simple. The second one is something called a vinaigrette, which is a combination of vinegar and olive oil. And typically, the most favored ratio is 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. Because vinegar being a sour ingredient, if you add too much vinegar, then your salad dressing will tend to go on the more tangy side. So to avoid that, 3 is to 1. But in different countries, like they follow 2 is to 1, sometimes even 1 is to 1. And it also depends on the strength of the vinegar and how sour it is. But 3 is to 1 is a good place to start. And the third kind of salad dressing is creamy, which is mayo, and adding dairy ingredients like thick yogurt, then mayonnaise, sour cream. All these make the dressing creamy, or even egg for that matter. Now, the other important scientific concept that helps you understand how to combine these dressings. Just a second, I'm going to put my phone on do not disturb because it's got some calls and it got paused back. Yeah, so the concept that I want to talk about here is emulsification. Now, in a dressing, you want to add a vinegar and oil. Vinegar is a water based substance, and oil is of course oil. So water and oil don't combine, right? If you try mixing water and oil in a glass, both of them will be separated out. Now to make this combine is this process called emulsification, where that's why you put it, if you put the oil and the vinegar in a glass jar and you shake it really well, that agitation makes those molecules combine, and for the time being it becomes an emulsion. Now that is a temporary emulsion, which is why when you put this in the fridge, after making the dressing, the layers tend to separate out. That's not a problem at all. All you need to do is shake it again and it's back into being an emulsion or a thick and combined salad dressing, and not a separated one. Now, the other important thing here is that this is a temporary emulsion, like I said, because it separates out when you put it in the fridge. Things like mayonnaise, because of the addition of egg, that is kind of a permanent emulsion, because of the presence of the egg, it just keeps the ingredients combined together and it doesn't separate out. Now, ingredients like honey, mustard, etc., they also behave like emulsifiers. So when you add honey and mustard to your dressing, it helps the water and the oil stay combined for much longer. So even if you put it in the fridge, it will not separate into layers very quickly. It will stay intact for a while. So excuse me. So that's the emulsification, scientific funda that I want to tell you about, because that helps you understand. Many people ask me, oh, my dressing separated in the fridge, should I throw it out? No, it's just because the water and oil have separated as it naturally does. So all you need to do is give it a good shake and the dressing is back on track. Okay, so that's the thing. I've told you about the vinegar and oil ratio, and I've told you about the types of dressings, which first is simple, just one ingredient. Second is vinaigrettes, and which is a combination of vinegar and oil. And the third one is creamy, which is mayo, and these typically are much richer in more higher in calories and richer. So better to use smaller quantities, especially if you want to make healthier salads. Okay. Now a lot of questions, but as we talk, many of them will get addressed here, and in the end I'll go through all your questions. If I have not addressed any in the talk, I will get back to you on that. So how to create your own salad dressings? Like we spoke about building a salad in the first episode, what are the different categories, right? Like you add greens, you add protein, you add complex carbs, you add something for crunch, and you add something for extra flavor. Similarly, in dressing, it's a very simple concept, and once you understand this, you really don't need to buy a dressing, or you don't need to check a dressing recipe. You can literally make your own salad dressing, different varieties for different salads as you go. So the first component is always the oil base in most salads. So oil is nothing but the carrier for all these flavors. So when you add your seasoning, you add flavor, you add your vinegar, everything to the oil goes and coats all the salad ingredients. So every bite of the salad you take has all the flavors that is there in the dressing. So first, of course, is the oil component, and mostly salads use extra virgin olive oil, but that's not to say you cannot use other oils. You can use any neutral flavored oil. In fact, a lot of commercially available dressings, they will not use extra virgin because it is expensive. So they will use any neutral flavored oil like sunflower, rice bran, etc., and just a small portion of extra virgin. But when you're making it at home, you can use whatever best you can get. And you can also add some portion. Say if I'm using 3 tablespoons of oil, for example, and 1 tablespoon of vinegar, in the 3 tablespoon I can use 2 tablespoons as extra virgin and 1 tablespoon of any other strongly flavored oil like sesame or coconut or anything which will add more flavor to your dressing. But any strongly flavored oil, don't use that for the entire 3 tablespoons, because then your salad will be overpowered with that one flavor which you don't want, and you want a balance of all the flavors. Okay, so first one was the oil, so that's out of the way. Now the 4 flavors, salty, sweet, sour and spicy. Now salty can just be salt, or it can be soy sauce. Okay, sweet can be honey, agave nectar, palm sugar, liquid jaggery, or any of your leftover fruit preserves or jams in the jar. Just microwave it, because little bit is sticking to the bottle. You can just microwave for like 30 seconds, and add all the remaining ingredients to the same jar, shake it, and your dressing is ready. It's got this nice, if it's orange marmalade, then it has a sweet and tangy component. So, it'll really add a lot of flavor to your dressing. Like Sprig sent me a couple of products to just try out, and this is honey with turmeric. It's called curcumin honey and things like these. So in this you'll get a lovely yellow sunshiny color, and you can add any variety of honey that you get for the sweetness. Then the most important component apart from the oil is the sour component, which is what helps you digest the salad. It adds flavor. Whenever you add any sour component to any dish, that's what gets your salivary glands activated. So you actually start digesting the food in your mouth, right? So it's very important, and it adds a lot of balance to your salad dressing. So the simplest is lime or lemon juice, which is available all the time at home, a lime or lemon. Second is vinegar. See, white vinegar is the simplest one, and no harm in using that. But there are many other good vinegars like balsamic, red wine, white wine, and even some supermarkets recently have started stocking things like jamun vinegar and all, which is amazing. I've tried that, and apple cider vinegar, of course, very popular these days. And even things like orange juice instead of lime juice. Then rice wine vinegar in Asian salads. Even yogurt and buttermilk, buttermilk is a component of this very famous ranch dressing. So anything tangy, yes, of course, you can use. Even in India, you get different vinegars. One from Goa, Coorg, like someone saying coconut vinegar, kachampuli vinegar. Ruchira says raspberry vinegar. So go ahead and use. You may not be able to stock up on all kinds of vinegar, but at least you buy one bottle. It literally, vinegar itself is a preservative, so it will stay for years, no problem. So you can buy 2 or 3, and it'll. I have kept vinegars for like 3 years, and nothing has gone wrong. So one, of course, you have any access to fresh lime or orange and a couple of vinegars, and you can literally go all out on varieties of salad dressings. The fourth component is the spicy component. It's optional, but a lot of Indians, if we prefer spice, you can add a pinch of something to your salad dressing, and it really lifts up your salad. Sliced red chilies, or a green chili paste, chili sauce, chili flakes, black pepper, crushed black pepper. But please use freshly ground black pepper. Don't use the ready-made black pepper powder, because flavor-wise that is like literally 10x, and I feel using ready-made is just a waste of using pepper at all. Things like this. There's this Mexican chili sauce called Chipotle Adobo, again sent by Sprig. You can use a few drops of any hot sauce that you have in chili. So spicy. So we covered the 4 flavors: salty, sweet, sour, and spicy. Now the last and the most important component apart from the sour component is the flavor boost. Now make sure you use only 1 or 2 of these from this list that I'm telling you now, because you don't want to make it a full kitsch pitch of all kinds of different flavor boost. Everything will be clashing with the other, and you won't taste anything good. So things like Dijon mustard, kashundi, which is the Bengali mustardy condiment, grated garlic, grated horseradish, or even if you get ready-made wasabi paste in Asian salads, it's amazing. Grated ginger, or even flavored oils, which, like I said, added to some part of the oil component, like walnut oil, sesame oil, and even herbs, finely chopped herbs will add a great flavor boost to your dressing. And so these are the 5 components. Now, take for example, I'm going to give you a quick example. See, if I had to make an Indian salad dressing, okay, what all will I choose from these components? In the oil, I would choose a peanut oil, for example. Salt in the salty component. In the sweet component, I would take jaggery. In the spice component, I would take some red chili powder. And in the sour component, I would take a tamarind paste, and I just crush everything together in the mortar pestle. And I have made this as a salad dressing for a salad I created for Vogue at the beginning of this year, the Vogue magazine. And trust me, I just couldn't stop eating the dressing by itself. So it's so simple, right? Just peanut oil, salt, jaggery, red chili powder, and tamarind paste. I've covered all the, and of course I used garlic for that, garlicky, the flavor punch. So literally I've used one ingredient in all the components that I told you about, and it just made a kick-ass salad dressing. So in Asian, I would choose regular oil or peanut oil, a bit of sesame oil for extra flavor, rice vinegar, brown sugar, uh, red chilies sliced, fresh red chilies, and soy sauce. So again, that makes an amazing this thing. And brown sugar, or even if you don't have brown sugar, use honey. So just a combination of these things. So like I said, please do not memorize anything. Just go through these tables and you can think about it yourself. What salty can I use? What sour can I use? Uh, yeah, all videos are getting saved to my IGTV, so you can watch it from the beginning at any time that you like. Okay. So in it, okay, the last example, this is really fun, and I just had fun even creating these tables. In Italian, extra virgin olive oil, of course, and lime juice or wine vinegar, any red wine or white wine vinegar, garlic, of course, garlic and olive oil, Italian, and dried basil for the flavor boost, and salt. So you can just understand that just pick one thing from each of these columns and your dressing is ready. And remember the portions, it's usually 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. So you don't need to remember anything else. The other flavors, salt, sweet, sour, go by your taste. You're eating the salad, and the salad dressing, if it tastes good to you, then it's good to go. And the other important point, how do you taste a salad dressing? Never just dip your finger and taste it, because that's not how you're not going to drink your salad dressing. So make sure you have a salad leaf or some ingredient, dip that and taste it, because that's when you'll know the true flavor of the dressing. Because if you eat it as it is, then if you taste it as it is, it will definitely be too sour or too salty, because you're not going to have it by itself, right? So make sure you have a leaf or something handy to just dip it and taste your dressing. Okay, so that was the create your own dressing part. Now, the fifth one, which we covered a bit in episode 2, but I'll revisit because it's also a part of this. What implements do you need? Literally, only this, if you have, you can make. You need agitation to make sure the oil and water components combine. So, a glass jar, perfectly fine. Okay. And the other thing which I like to use is, sometimes it's a bit tricky, it doesn't combine. I use this coffee frother or milk frother. I like the IKEA brand, it lasts forever, it's sturdy and it works. And just put everything and spin this for a few seconds and your dressing is combined. Even if you put it in the fridge, remove, spin, and your dressing is ready. But only make sure don't use this for milk or coffee. Keep 2 separate ones, because traces of vinegar and the strong flavor, you don't want your coffee flavor to be spoiled, right? So make sure you have one separately for this. Otherwise, just you can start mixing your salad dressing with a whisk in a big bowl. Mortar pestle, like I told you how I make my Indian salad dressing. So these are the ways you can mix. So also when you're making larger quantities, or if you have a small mixer jar, that also works perfectly fine. Just put everything whiz and you're done. If you're making a bigger quantity for a party or something, use the bigger mixer jar, add everything, and because then it's really tough to shake it in a jar. Just use your big jar, mixer jar, and use the pulse function and not the continuous running function. Okay. Then we come to the next thing. When do you actually add the dressing to the salad? So now I've prepared all my ingredients for the salad in a bowl. I have my dressing ready in the bottle. Do I mix it immediately? Do I mix it before eating? I get asked these questions often. So I have my own preference on how to use this. See, if it's a grain-based salad, like if I have millets or if I have brown rice in my salad, I like to add almost 75% of the dressing right at the beginning, mix it up and put it in the fridge, and then the remaining I'll add just over the top. The reason being, grains have a huge moisture absorbing capacity, so and otherwise it also tends to taste bland if I just add it in the end. So what happens is all the grains absorb the salad dressing, and it really tastes delicious and juicy, and every grain has the flavor of the dressing, and the rest just over the top, right? So, but in leafy salads or vegetable based salads, I like to add it just at the end before serving, because anything acidic tends to cook leaves and any fresh ingredients. So you don't want to mix it up right at the beginning, because then everything will start wilting and it will no longer look fresh, right? So That's and lunchbox salads. If you're carrying salad in your lunchbox, then definitely carry it separately in a small bottle, and you can mix it up just before eating. Okay, and how to mix? Like again, I think I told you in episode 1 or 2. I love this term Jamie Oliver uses, fairy fingers, like very very delicate with your hands, and otherwise you don't want to crush and bruise. Already the lettuce that we get in the supermarket is half dead, and if you really go over enthusiastic on mixing it, you by the time you eat, your salad is going to be really sad. So make sure very very gentle, and you can use those salad hands, but use it for serving, not for mixing. By hands you know exactly how much pressure, and you can control that so much better, right? So very delicate, and don't mix too much, and always don't add too much like it's more is not always better. And if you add too much salad dressing, again the salad tends to get cooked because of the lime juice. And also you want the flavor of the vegetables and the fruits and the other ingredients to come through. If you just add so much dressing, you're only going to taste the dressing. Okay, so these are the small points that you can keep in mind. Yeah, the bird sound is like a good background music for me, because I've kept my window open. There's no fan and there's no power either. So I'm just, luckily, I have internet because of the UPS. So that's what it is. Okay. All right. So I think I'm coming to the last point now, and then I think I've seen a lot of questions, so I'm going to take that, and I have to ask you my question for the Sprig giveaway. Remind me if I forget, okay? So how to store the dressing? You need to put it in. Okay, if I'm making for one, I don't want to make just a tiny portion of dressing, right? I would rather make a bigger portion. Put it in the fridge, okay, and the layers will separate out. But don't worry, just give the jar a shake again. It will come together and you can use it. Typically, it's 1 tablespoon of dressing per portion of salad, so you can estimate that accordingly. And that's roughly, because it's 1:3. So in that 1 tablespoon, it's roughly, 2 teaspoons of oil and 1 teaspoon of vinegar and other ingredients, right? So yeah, and the other thing regarding storage, see, like I told you, for flavor you can add fresh ingredients like grated garlic, grated ginger, etc. Right? That does reduce the lifespan of your salad dressing. So what you can do is just add the basic ingredients, or you can use these in powdered form, like powdered ginger, powdered dried powdered garlic. Or what you can do is add these things right before you actually use the dressing. Don't add fresh ingredients to your salad dressing if you plan on keeping it for a longer time. So even herbs, add dried herbs, then you can totally store it. But fresh herbs, the herbs will tend to cook in the dressing and it'll turn black. And while it's totally edible, not because of the vinegar or the lime juice, nothing will go bad. But maybe appearance wise, it'll turn a bit dark. Okay, and yeah, so when I was talking to you about different dressings, you can also make a really concentrated herb flavored dressing similar to a pesto. So lots of chopped basil, some garlic, some olive oil, and just use that and mix it up in the blender, and you can use that as the dressing. Only thing, this will have a little more olive oil as compared to pesto, because you want to toss stuff in that, right? Okay. So now okay, I'm going to ask you the giveaway question now, which is brought to you by Sprig, and they've been sweet enough to, give a hamper, 2 hampers actually, to all those who are attending the live right now. Are you ready? Okay. So my question is, what is the role of ingredients like honey and mustard, other than flavor, in a dressing? So I'm going to repeat the question again, and the first 2 correct answers are going to be chosen for the hamper. And this is open only to those in India. So please, the rest of you, please, I'm sorry, but this is just cannot be shipped only to people in India. Okay. What is the role of ingredients like honey and mustard in a dressing, other than flavor? Okay, so I'm going to check your answers. Okay, wow, you guys, you are so attentive. My God. So many right answers already, but Malika 2112 and VM dot 1996, you both got the first two answers. So I'm going to choose you as the winners. Please DM me later, okay? Malika 2112 and VM dot 1996. Congratulations, guys. And thank you, rest of you. Amazing. You know, you've paid attention and you've answered instantly. So happy. Okay, I'm going to go through all the questions now, okay? Please think of anything else that I may not have answered with respect to salad dressings. You can even ask me now. I'm going to start from the top, so uh, I'll reach your question once I'm done, okay? Scrolling. Snap My Food asks, what do hotels use for salad dressing for onions, cauliflower, and carrot? I mean, I don't know the answer to that. They could be using anything mix of, like I said, oil, vinegar, salt, and pepper. This is like the absolute basic salad dressing. Okay. VM dot 1996. Any specific kind of vinegar? Like I said, you can use absolutely any vinegar. You need a sour component. Any vinegar works, but you know, cuisine specific vinegars just help in making it that much better. Like, you know, for European salads, wine based vinegars. For Asian salads, rice based vinegars, and so on. Indian salads, you can use Indian vinegars like the Goan or the Coorg vinegar. Shikha Raval, which is the lowest cal dressing option. That is literally just lime juice and salt and pepper because you're not adding any oil. Or you can also use hung yogurt as a dressing base. It adds protein and calcium, and it's not as high calorie as oil for sure. So you can add your grated garlic, lime juice, a bit of honey, and salt to your hung yogurt and some crushed herbs and whisk it well. It's nice, thick, and creamy. But in this case, don't toss your whole salad in this because you'll need a lot of it to toss the whole salad. So keep some on the side and you can just use it as a dip. Okay. Sunshine Taro, the third combi of mayo is with what else? Uh, So when you add mayo itself can be used as an emulsifying agent because it is a permanent emulsion almost. So when you add mayo to your olive oil and honey and vinegar etc., it keeps that stable for a much longer time and it's a creamy dressing as well. Okay. Can we preserve dressing? Shikha Raval. I think I explained about that. You can put it in the refrigerator. You can totally keep it for at least a week. Uh, Batra Parul, can we use kachampuli vinegar? I said yes, you can use that. Making tails, can I use regular curd in place of Greek yogurt for dressings? It'll be too watery, and you know, you just want to make sure that your dressing is thick so that doesn't add water. Water always dilutes flavor, so you don't want to add anything too watery. So keep the yogurt in a muslin cloth in the fridge, you know, in a strainer and use that instead of regular yogurt. Another point I forgot to tell you, what happens when you add your salad dressing right at the beginning to your salad, because the salt in the dressing will start draining out the moisture from your vegetables and it will you know, all collect at the bottom, which is why in grain salads it's fine because the grains will absorb that water, but in leafy salads leaves are 99% water, so it's just going to be a soggy mess, which is why we don't add dressing right at the beginning. Okay. Purnima 77, yeah, pomelo juice instead of lime, absolutely. Any citrus works great. The girl in muddy boots, you can make vinegar too. Yes, that's the next step. I'm actually making right now pineapple and apple cider vinegar, inspired by a lot of fermenting friends on Instagram. Anupama 97, will you be saving this video? Yeah, I did say that it's going to be saved on my IGTV. The Pious Baker, what kind of peanut oil do you use, regular or special kind? I use cold pressed because it's better and it's also more flavor. So cold pressed is great for salads because you're not heating it up, you're not cooking it. So it's excellent in terms of usage. This is the perfect usage for cold pressed oils. Um, VM 1996, can you please suggest some peanut butter based dressings? Yeah, so you can use like a noodle salad tastes great in a peanut butter dressing. So, but it's tough to whisk peanut butter. It tends to be a bit sticky. So I like to do this in the small mixer jar. Peanut butter, either orange juice for a bit of sweetness, or you can just add vinegar or rice vinegar, soy sauce, some honey, some chili flakes or hot sauce. So again, I have the sweet, salty, sour, spicy component, and you don't need to add more oil to this because peanut butter is anyway like a fat source. So just blend everything together, keep tasting and adjusting the quantities of different ingredients. Okay. Manju Mariam asks hand blender. Yeah, you can totally use hand blender, but if the quantity is very small and the hand blender is big, it will just stick to the hand blender. Bigger quantities, absolutely, you can use the hand blender. How long can we store the salad dressing for? Swati Murthy is asking. At least a week, but if you're adding fresh ingredients, the life is a bit less. Manoj Chitra, I love that you have notes, well thought out talk, and thank you for your time and this amazing content. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Uh, Asha Haridas, can you suggest about grilled veggie salads? Yeah, just take a bunch of seasonal vegetables, toss it in olive oil, salt, and put it in a baking tray, 180 to 190 for 30 to 40 minutes, depending on the size of the cut. And then toss it in any of the dressings I mentioned right now. Italian dressing would be amazing. Um, do tell how to keep lettuce crisp. Don't wash it before itself. Just wash and dry it thoroughly. Please watch my episodes on all about greens and salad spinner, etc. You'll get a good idea about all this. I've spoken in detail. Okay. How to store lettuce leaves for a few days. Again, Ipsita Taluja. Please watch my episode number 4 in all about salad greens explained in much detail. Grow lettuce in terrace garden pots. Yeah, you can. You can grow. Um, Gardening tips live. Okay, let me finish this one first and then I'll look at that. To be honest, I don't do much in terms of gardening. We all are emulsifier responses now. Good, good, good. What is a safe vinegar? There's nothing like an unsafe vinegar. You can use any vinegar, it's absolutely fine. Curry leaves for dressing, of course, yeah. Use it in the flavor boosting component that I spoke to you about. Mince it finely, or use a curry leaf powder, or make a paste of it and use it. Okay. Apple cider vinegar is good for which salad? I love using apple cider vinegar in apple based or pear based salads because it's a nice flavor thing. Uh, which In orange dressing, which butter can go besides peanut butter? You don't need to add butter, you can just add olive oil. Um, that's fine. A very good question here, Nefertiti and me. If we are going to use a pungent green like radish or rocket, do we need this dressing to be more subtle? Yeah, that would work. You don't want to have an overpowering salad ingredients plus an overpowering dressing. Use a milder dressing, just olive oil, lemon juice, salt, and pepper. Keep it simple. Start simple. Nabanita Dhar says, I use mustard oil, lime, and salt usually. Shouldn't mix vinegar with this, should I? You can use either lime or vinegar. Don't use both because both are from the same sour category. Use any one, okay? How do I substitute sour cream? Hung yogurt works perfectly fine. Vinuta7625, you'll find some videos on salad making for beginners. You will find some videos on my YouTube channel, which unfortunately I haven't updated in a while, but it's just youtube.com/saffron trail. You'll be able to find some salads, quite a few actually. Go check it out. I'll give you the link in my stories. What's a good thing to add crunch to the salad? Okay, please watch episode 1. I've talked in detail about the crunch component in a salad. I think by episode 14, I'm going to have to refer to each episode saying, go watch this episode. Um Sunshine Taro, vinegar should be added just one and not two or more should be added, right? I didn't understand your question. Please let me know. I think. How to avoid salad, Nivedita, how to avoid salad getting soggy while maintaining maximum flavor of the dressing. Exactly. The first thing is your salad leaves should be absolutely dry. Any water in the dressing, any water in the leaves, the dressing won't stick to the leaves because water will repel the oil based salad dressing. And secondly, water also tends to dilute any flavor. So, one is absolutely get your ingredients dry and just mix it before serving. Like I said, two main points, yeah. And especially if you're using things like cucumber, tomato, absolutely remove the seeds first. You don't need to remove seeds in those tiny European cucumbers, but Indian cucumbers, cut it in half, scoop out the seeds. Same with tomatoes. Do not use seeds of any of these watery vegetables, they just ruin your salad. Nitya Vijay Kumar, instead of olive oil, if we use olives to make a pesto sauce, will it still give good taste and flavor? Yeah, sure. So that's called an olive tapenade. You can blend olives and stuff, but it won't have that the moisture and the juiciness and the you know it won't go around the salad as easily. You can keep it on the side and mix it and eat. Sunshine Taro. Yeah, you need to use only one from each category. So in the sour category, if you're using white vinegar, then don't use apple vinegar. But for the same quantity, if you want, like if you're using 1 tablespoon of vinegar, you can add a little bit of each, but you just use one thing to keep it simple. Okay, I think I've covered all the questions. Congratulations to the two winners, and please DM me in case I forgot your handle. So many accounts I'm seeing here. Please DM me and I shall connect you with Sprig and you can collect your hampers from them. They'll send it to you. And thank you for tuning in and see you on Wednesday. I'm sorry, see you on Friday, 4 p.m. And very interesting topic. We're going to talk all about desi salads, okay? So all kinds of desi salads and those that are not really a salad but can qualify as a salad, and how to make your own kind of desi salads. Please watch those who have just tuned in for this episode. You can watch episode 1, 2, 3, and 4 on my IGTV. A lot of basics are covered in that, and a lot of questions you've asked today have been covered in those already. So please go watch that, and thank you for tuning in, and see you on Friday. Bye bye.